All right, guys, welcome back to the second day here of the quarterfinals. This is the Inven HearthStone tournament, HIT. I guess the HearthStone Inven tournament, that would make more sense.
Yes.
HIT there. It is sponsored by Hot 6, and we are here for the second day of quarterfinals. Yesterday, we went ahead and went through the group A. We have figured out who's in the losers bracket, and now the two games we'll have are going to be the same guys from yesterday, but now we have Transit versus Lojom in the winners bracket, and then we've got Tangy and Kairan in the losers bracket.
Yeah, and one thing that we forgot to mention from yesterday was that the players actually have an option to change their deck list for today's matches. Maybe some people decide to keep some of the same decks from yesterday. Maybe some of them decide to come up with something that's drastically different.
So, just reviewing what had happened yesterday, I remember a lot of the players came in with very aggressive decks.
Yes, definitely.
And we were both very surprised about that. Now that all the players have kind of played with one another before, do you think they're going to go with that same model of aggressive decks, or maybe just change it up, more control decks?
This is really all about the mind games. You cannot expect your opponent to bring similar decks from yesterday just because they brought a lot of the choice decks yesterday. And moving on, we are going to look at the overview for this tournament.
All right, so in case you guys are just joining us, we went through a round of 16, and here we are in the quarterfinals. It's a dual tournament. Like we said, that's why we have a losers and winners bracket, best of fives, and then as the tournament goes on, we're going to go into best of sevens, and this is going to go all the way to the end of the month. Now, first place gets to go home with 5 million won, which is equivalent about $5,000.
That is a lot of money, but even more important to the money is the Blizzard points that each of these players get when they take the first place and second place.
Definitely. So yeah, day one is finished. That was yesterday, and as you guys can see here, Lojom and Transit are the two to make it out to the winners bracket. And now we're going to go ahead and see who actually gets to go all the way to the semifinals, and they're just going to have to duke it out. I guess.
Whoever wins the first match is going to secure his spot at the top 4. But whoever loses from the winner's match is going to go up against the winner of the loser's bracket.
Yes.
Yes.
We had been discussing how this works, but this is really great. Like, I'm so happy that they're allowing these players to have a second chance, basically, to be able to get those WCS points. That's very important to them. Now, here we could see Lojom. He's on Team Sunbi.
Team Sunbi.
Yep.
And we have 4 people from Team Sunbi representing at the top 8 of the HIT tournament, which is very impressive.
Yeah, and you can see here, guys, he's at 18 wins, 5 losses. His win rate is an amazing 78%, which, I mean, anything over 50, you had said yesterday, is pretty impressive.
I know, at the competitive scene, it is considered pretty good.
All right, and yeah, he's got a couple of different tournaments under his belt. You can see that he's done HearthStone Masters Korea, WECG. Like, this guy definitely has some experience. On the other end, in the yellow chair, in the other corner, here is Transit in Team Kalbi Love Dog.
Oh yeah, by the way, this Kalbi represents Kranish. If you guys are familiar with the Korean Hearthstone players, he was the only person who made it to the BlizzCon twice in a row. And it has Kranish, Equester, and a couple of other guys who are a little bit less known to the public.
All right, well, yeah, we can see here his win rate is about 75% as well. So, I mean, these are two players who definitely know what they're doing. They have a lot of experience. They've played in different tournaments before.
Yeah, and these two players actually have a history in a different tournament,
Yes, they do. Yeah. Yes, they do. In fact, actually, they've met each other earlier this year for the spring preliminaries.
Korea preliminary.
Yeah, and at first, Transit had beat Lojom, and then made him go to the losers bracket, and then somehow made it back up. They played again, and Transit lost that time. So there's definitely an element of revenge right now, and I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this all kind of pans out.
And
Here,
looking at the fan vote.
That's what I was waiting for. The community vote. Ooh, 57% think Lojom's going to win.
I think this number is very reasonable given that Transit has been away from the Hearthstone scene for so long, whereas Lojom has been constantly participating at the Clan Championship here at Inven.
Okay, that makes sense. So I guess he might have a bit more fans also because it's a community vote.
Also
community
because he's from Team
him.
Sunbi.
Yeah. Team Sunbi, and people know him. So makes sense. but we will have to see here. We could see that both warrior decks have been banned out, and that's
so
actually really
probably a
interesting.
lot of smart decks again today. So we see Shaman, Druid, and Warlock from lojom, and we see Paladin, Druid, and Warlock from Transit. So both Druid and Warlock from both of the players. The only difference is the Shaman and Paladin.
Yeah. All right. Paladin deck. I mean, did get to chat a little bit with Transit, and he seems super confident. So yesterday he came in, and at the end of the day, it was really cool because he comes to me and he goes, "Well, I gave you guys an early day because it was only a 3-0, and he's just super confident. And I think having that kind of mindset coming into a tournament like this might be helpful."
Yeah, and when we asked about lojom and what he thought of lojom, he was like, "Well, I don't think he was that good of a player. I'm sure I can beat him easily."
Well, they have, like I said, we have two decks that are going to be mirror matchups, but then it's going to come down to the first matchup. How well is his Paladin deck going to hold up?
Yeah, and I think it's pretty interesting that Transit did not ban away the Shaman from lojom, because most people ban Shaman as more of an auto ban, because Shaman, the class itself, is so strong at the current meta. But it's very interesting that he banned away Warrior specifically.
All right, guys, I think the players are ready. We're going to go ahead and head into game number 1. All right, guys, here we go. Quarterfinals, Group A3. This is the third set. We have lojom on the top screen and Transit on the bottom. And it's going to be Shaman versus Paladin. It's like the old days of...
Shaman versus Druid, actually.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, you are right. I'm looking at the wrong paper here. Shaman...
Do you see that facial expression from Transit when he first saw the matchup? He was like, "Oh, not Shaman against my Druid."
I guess that's something that he didn't expect. I'm sure he must have expected it, but maybe it'll cut into his confidence just a little bit. Oh, Transit, get your finger out of your nose.
I've actually seen one of the Chinese players, I think it was Tiddler, who was picking his nose during the tournament twice in a row that day. It's very interesting to watch that.
All right. Well, Transit's facial expression right now, he seems pretty happy with this mulligan.
Yep, always chewing the gum. Well, so this seems to be an interesting variation of Druid, apart from what we usually see. This seems like some kind of a Beast Druid. lojom actually brought a very aggressive Beast Druid yesterday. We have to continue watching and see if this deck is anything similar to that. But looking at that Flame with Faceless, this is definitely an aggro Shaman from lojom's side.
All right, so Transit here. What are his options? I mean, is it worth using the coin to...
He might as well play the Druid of Saber and conceal it, because next turn he can use the Mark of Yashar and get an extra draw off of it. I'm a little surprised that Transit decided to not take the Living Roost he had in the starting hand, which could have been a better option here.
Start off with little saplings.
Yeah, that way you could have saved the coin, basically. I think this is a pretty obvious turn for lojom, but he's just going to take every time he can.
Yes, because
he
this
likes
is the
to
guy.
tilt the opponent.
Of course, this is the guy that waits till the very end. If the rope hasn't shown up, I mean, it's not him playing. Well, there you go. There's that obvious choice. He's going to go to the face, and the 5-mana card really doesn't help Transit at this point in the game.
Not yet, but if he draws something like Innervade. And this Druid of the Flame is a pretty good top deck for Transit also, because as you said, he didn't have any play at turn 3 other than Pharaoh Rage.
Right.
But he can actually play an active minion next turn. Yeah, the Druid of Flame is such a powerful minion against aggro Shaman, because It may have only 2 attack, but it has a 5 HP, which is a very sturdy minion to deal with.
Alright, well, oh, that is an amazing card. A 7/7
Yeah.
at 4 mana. I mean, wow.
It doesn't kill the Flame with Faceless just yet,
Right.
but he might as well weaken the minion and try to find something
Right.
like Wrath, hopefully, next turn.
So if he swipes the face, yeah,
He can't kill it just yet, but next turn
but
he can if
he was able
wants
to clear out most of the
Yeah,
board.
most
I
of
think
the
that was
board.
that was very important over on Transit's side.
빛이 나를 보호하신다.
And you see why the 2/5 minion is so sticky on the board, because if Lojom wanted to clear that, then he would have to use 2 of his burn spells to keep the Flame Wraith alive. He sees that it's not worth it.
공격할 걸.
And I like this choice from Transit. He's taking the extremely safe route instead of setting it up as a taunt, which can die to any kind of burn spell. He's just rather trading it with the 7/3 board and getting rid of it.
All right, so what are the options here for Lojom? You know, I really wonder what Lojom is thinking right now, just because he's usually very expressionless when we're watching him play.
넌 어떨?
He has a lot of bunkers at hand, so why not just play your Urgent Horse Rider and just going face from now on and accumulate that damage. The druid is only at, I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know if he's gonna clear here, but if he doesn't, then he can. I think it's gonna go face with everything,
Yeah.
even with the Rockbiter up on.
Rockbiter
Yep,
to the face.
putting druid at 11 HP.
Wow, and then we're only at turn 6 right now.
And Lojom already has 8 damage at hand,
Lojom does have 8 damage.
which means
I'm trying to see
Transit
where
have
we
to
get
have to use some kind of armor up or hero power to stay away from the lethal range. Transit is very clever to figure that out. And he actually evades lethal by using the Pharaoh Rage for 8 armor.
Okay, using his hero power. Oh, and
But how long can you survive doing this? Because the longer, the more turns you give to Lojom, the more likely he is to draw into more barn cards
Yes.
and eventually kill Transit.
Transit really needs to have some sort of solution soon before it gets too late. I think here he is at turn 7.
Lojom still has 8 burn cards at hand, and if Transit kills everything,
So right now,
어떨까?
still alive, but I don't know how long this can last. Lojom just needs one more burn card, basically.
so at this point, I mean, of the options that Transit has right now, the Violet Teacher, the Azure Drake, I guess what would make one card a better choice than the other? I think I would have gone with the Violet Teacher there, but
I think Transit is just looking for answers to stay alive. Something like Druid of Claw or the Taunt form. He already used one, so it's very unlikely for him to draw another one. But he's still trying to find that, trying to find the second swipe, hopefully.
기다리지 않는다.
But looking at Transit's deck list, yes, this deck is very, very... It doesn't run a lot of taunts, and the only source of taunt he has is a second Druid of Claw, which is very unlikely to come out because he has already used one. So I guess
So
he's trying to set up
finally-
his own lethal by doing this, but... Oh, that's not lethal from
No.
Lojom just yet.
it'll still take him another turn or so.
Yeah, he probably really wanted to see some card like Doomhammer, but it's not here yet. Let's just give the Druid a little bit more time and play around it. Yeah, I like Feral Spirit here because it doesn't die away to the Azure Drake swipe immediately.
Right, it kind of offers Lojom a bit of protection there, even if Transit does decide to swipe.
Exactly, and you're gonna have 7 mana if you use the Feral Spirit here. I think he's actually thinking about using a couple of burn curse to the minions, but I don't think that's the winning play here. You just have to be hopeful and continue going face. Maybe he's thinking about using one burn card to the face already. Yes.
There we go. That's one.
He just wants to utilize his mana as effectively as possible.
All right, so now he's got down to 6. And Transit's really going to have to make some smart calls here. You can see on his face right now, he's trying to calculate exactly what can happen.
Yeah, Transit could get some kind of a taunt or healing from the death rattle of Unearthed Raptor. It's a very hopeful way to go, but it's an option. There aren't that many taunt minions from the one drop, but you might as well try. Oh, I think he should have killed the Raptor first and then do this, just in case you get some kind of taunt. So I really disagree with this play.
Now at this point, it just seems like he wants to be able to do as much damage and clear the board as much as he can. But yeah, like you said,
why not take the chances when you're so desperate?
Exactly. Unless you think he's already kind of given up in a way in his mind.
I just don't think Transit saw that as an option. I don't know.
All right, well, he's getting rid of all the taunts here. See if...
So he's going to kill away everything. So lojom just needs 3 more damage this turn.
Yep, and...
See what he got.
What's he get?
Oh, no.
Oh. So what is this? Let's count this out here.
Transit has 23 damage.
That's still
including
not
his
enough.
hero power. That is still not enough. Actually, with the Savage Competent, it's going to be 2 extra damage, so it's 25.
That's still not enough.
So would Swipe do it? No, he doesn't have enough mana to play Swipe and hero power with the Savage Competent. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what does lojom do? Does he just go
lojom
for
might
it?
use the Lightning Bolt here in case he top decks the second Urgent Horse Rider
Right.
and have the 2 extra damage. I mean, Transit is definitely going to hero power next turn as well and set him up to 3 HP rather than 2 HP, but there's a chance that you're going to draw something like the second Lightning Bolt.
All right, so the troll golem
let's
comes
just do
on out.
it.
He's going to go ahead to the face with the bolt. And like you said, Transit just doesn't have lethal this turn.
I know. I think Transit should check out his luck, test his luck by killing his Unearthed Raptor and try to get lucky there. I don't even know if taunt is very relevant at this point because it's really the Born Cursor. Oh, man. It's 1 mana off.
Oh, gosh.
And that is not a taunt minion. All right, let's do this. 3 more damage from lojom. Can he get that?
All right, now, yeah. What does he draw?
Oh. That's it.
That's it. Think from below. You know, most of the time it's a great card, but in this case, lojom just did not luck out.
Yeah, this is why I don't like playing a card like Think From Below in my Aggro Shaman deck. I'd much rather replace it with some super aggressive card. I don't really want a taunt minion.
Yeah, Think From Below is definitely more of a mid-range kind of card there.
I mean, it does a great job of protecting you when you're 1 turn off from getting that lethal, but in this case, it's even more important to get that lethal before setting up the taunt.
I know. Wow. So, I mean, most throughout the game, we sat there going, lojom's probably going to win this. Like, he was playing very aggressively, but towards the end, man, that was...
Yeah. It was, what, 3 turns in a row that he didn't get any burn card at hand? Oh, man.
I mean, again, it's a game of skill, but it is a game of RNG as well. And do the gods smile down on you? That is the question.
It's 20% skill and 80% luck.
I think there's
definitely more of a percentage for the skill in my mind.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, Transit got super lucky, and now we're going to go into game number 2. And here we can see that they are both playing Warlocks. It is a mirror matchup.
Definitely. Are they? Is this the overlay problem, or do they actually have the exact same hand?
No.
Not sure.
Not again.
Not again. Yeah, there's a little bit of error with the overlay, but I'm sure they're gonna fix it.
Yes, they definitely have different hands now, so you guys are able to see that on the screen. Yeah, we're gonna start off with the possessed villager.
Lojom does not have any 1-drop to play, so he's pretty much forced to either pass this turn or coin out a 2-drop. But he doesn't even have a 2-drop minion just yet, so it's very precarious to actually drop a 2-drop minion here. I think he just has to pass. Yeah.
All right, so what is Transit's options here?
So there's a bit of mind game going on here because Lojom did not play anything at turn 1. So
Right.
Transit's probably thinking, hey, is this the Reno Warlock or is this the Zoolock? I'm not so sure yet. Transit does decide to take the aggressive approach and put 2 minions on board instead of just 1. I really like this from Transit. Whether it's Zoo or Reno Warlock, it's just important to have control of the board.
I was going to say the same thing, especially when it's a mirror matchup like this. You know, you definitely want that upper hand. So I do like the fact that there are more minions here. And now here he is. I mean, your choices are Dark Peddler or Dark Peddler. Or the
Dark
Councilman. Yeah, I know.
yes.
But the fact that he's got the 2 Dark Peddlers here, which one will give you the better cards? That's the question.
I really like setting up the Darkshire Councilman here because he doesn't die to just Soulfire, and that Voidwalker is protecting the Councilman from dying to something like Power Overwhelming.
All right, and just straight to the face. That gang boss doesn't scare Transit.
So Lojom here, he could play his own Councilman, but it might actually be better to play Knife Juggler and the Voidwalker.
Yeah, Knife Juggler, Voidwalker, and then...
Yeah, and then when you make this attack into the Voidwalker with the Imp Game boss, it's going to spawn another 1/1 Imp, which is going to give you an extra juggle.
I think that might be the better option than to just go ahead with the Councilman.
Yeah, I don't really like the Councilman here. He might even go with the Dark Peddler and Voidwalker, but I just really like...
The Knife Juggler.
Yeah, because you can actually get so many synergy
Right.
with that. And the good thing about playing Knife Juggler is you're actually almost blocking the opponent from playing their own Knife Juggler against this Imp Game boss. But does decide to go for the Dark Peddler instead.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
The Elven Archer is pretty decent here. It kills the Voidwalker.
Okay, and now he's got the more minions on here, but yeah, the Councilman's going to take a bit to kill off.
Yeah, maybe Lojom was scared that the Knife Juggler was going to kill the first body of Possessed Villager and give another buff to the Councilman. I like the Flame Imp here. How many minions does Transit have right now? I think he has about 5. Which means he could get immediate value from the Dark Reliquary.
Huh.
I think he had 5 minions on board, so he could play everything and get a full board. No, he has 4, so that's why he didn't choose the Dark Reliquary, which makes sense. This Imp Gang boss, man. So annoying.
He is annoying. Right. The Abusive Sergeant. Councilman just gets stronger.
Yeah, and just try to make as many favorable trade as possible. And develop your board as much as possible.
That Councilman is starting to become pretty threatening, man.
Lojom can kill it this turn with PO. And maybe even Defensive Argus, but I like playing the PO and developing your board too. So one card we really have to look out in this matchup is Sea Giant. When that card comes down,
we will
really
wait for
sweep the
that.
board.
All right, so what can he do here? Yeah, Knife Juggler into Voidwalker. This is what we had talked about last turn.
Yeah, and if he gets lucky with the juggle, then he could be able to save his PO, but never lucky.
No, never lucky.
Oh, wow, he's just gonna go for it? This is so, wow. That juggle was huge. We're so scared to leave this. Is he actually going to leave this up?
It seems that way.
Wow, that's so scary.
All right,
I don't know
well,
if I agree with that play.
Transit's gonna go ahead and use another peddler card, see what he can get here.
Yeah, I like the Soulfire. He's only down to 2 cards next turn, so he can play whatever he gets and play his Soulfire next turn to regain control of the board. I'm really surprised that Lojom decided not to kill the Consummate here. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this thing is starting to get really, really scary, and obviously Transit's gonna get rid of that Knife Juggler to keep himself from getting more damage onto himself.
I'm sure that
But-
Lojom is going to kill the Consummate now.
He's gonna use, yeah.
Oh, this mana though, he only has 5 mana, so he can't really do anything other than maybe tap. He can't really tap you. I think he has to use PO and play his. Oh man.
There you go. He definitely wanted to get rid of that.
I guess Lojom is trying to play the double Darkstar Consummate next turn and have a really strong board sweep.
Start to build up on his side.
Yep.
All right. Well, I mean, the choices he's got here. The gang.
So the Mora Coil is a pretty good top deck from Transit. He gets an extra draw.
Gets rid of that.
I like this. I like the fact that he's using the Soulfire very aggressively. This probably means, yes, he does have a Doom Guard in his deck. I was going to say, he knew it. He knew that if he doesn't use his Soulfire, then he was going to draw into his Doom Guard and discard everything that he has.
But look at this. Look at. I was going to say, not even before he can use that Doom Guard, it's almost as if Lojom just kind of had this feeling.
Yeah, Trans had lethal on board. It didn't really matter.
Yeah. It would have been nice to have been able to see that Doom Guard, though. That would have been fun to see.
I know. We haven't seen a lot of Doom Guard lately because a lot of people have been using something like Leroy Jenkins and double PO, maybe even triple to quadra PO with the Dark Peddler.
Yeah, so that would have been fun to have seen that. But like you said, obviously Lojom knew that he was defeated at that point. So GG. Wow, Transit just really flying through this. I wonder what is going through his mind right now.
I don't know. I have no idea. He's just chewing his gums, he's super casual, and trash talking about Lojom.
Like I said, I mean, Lojom coming into this obviously knew that he had faced Transit before. He's like, I've beat him before. I'm sure I can beat him again, but...
Well, it was more of a 1-1, right? Because they have beaten each other once.
Yes. Yes.
So I think it was a more of a 50-50 so far.
But both of them, you know, coming in with very special decks, I'd like to say. Because in case you guys don't know, Transit does like to make adjustments to standard decks. Like, he's not a guy who likes to just kind of carbon copy things from the internet. So, yeah, it's nice to see that.
Zoo deck, I don't know if he had a lot of
Well,
adjustments.
maybe we haven't seen
yet,
too many of
but-
the adjustments there.
But for other decks, hopefully he's going to bring something a little different, a little bit more refreshing to the table.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead into game number 3 right away here.
Wow. This is a control Hillidan that we see. Is that a Mad Bomber? I haven't seen that card for so long.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that is a
That
very strong card in the arena, but in the competitive play, wow. Susie, 5 seconds after we talked about how he liked to make adjustments.
I know,
and
right?
Personal touches.
Well, there you go, guys. Here is that verification that he indeed does like to do that.
I guess Mad Bomber could be even stronger than Doomsayer, but probably not against aggro decks. I still think that Doomsayer is better, but maybe he has both Doomsayer and Mad Bomber.
Oh, Lojom. Always taking your time. Always taking your time.
Gotta play the mind game, you know?
All right, so yeah, now we do have, like I said, the Shaman versus Paladin. This is a classic World of Warcraft matchup, right? Alliance versus Horde. Before both sides.
Oh, I'm
both
sorry.
factions
I
got it.
never played World of Warcraft.
Ah, boo. It's all right. It's okay.
I only played it once to get the, what is that? The new portrait for the Paladin. I
Fair
played until I
enough.
was level 20.
Fair enough.
Free to play, I'm sorry.
All right, let's see here. How are they starting? This is turn number 1, Transit.
I like saving on the coin from Transit's perspective. He might have to think about which 2-drop he wants to play next turn, but right now it's only a 1/1 urgent squares. So I don't think you're really.
There's no need to really have to jump the board, I guess.
I mean, you could argue for queening out Doomsayer, really. It's not a bad play either, because there's a chance that lojom plays something like Totem Golem.
Oh, well, yeah, he's going to just go ahead with... Oh! Okay, he did make it on time. Oh!
That's a 10-10 Mad Bomber. Look at that facial expression from
Wow. Lojom just sitting there like, what
Lojom's
just
like
happened?
laughing. Yeah.
Turn 2 and already you can see that the gods are not smiling favorably upon him.
Oh, I thought Transit might take a very passive route and play his Doomsayer after making a trade and just prevent lojom from playing anything at turn 3, but decides to Hero Power instead. Interesting.
Alright, clears his board there, and alright, so here, I mean, the choices with 3 mana, I guess I would go with the Tusker.
Me too. I like the Tusker better than Pharaoh Spirit.
The Feral Spirits, yeah, Tusker, because then it allows you to have an extra totem, and
Yeah, you could get something like Mana Tide Totem
Yes.
or something like Totem Golem, and you can save the Tunnel Trug and Pharaoh Spirit at turn 4, which is a very sick play.
and then at turn 4 too. I mean, you could also use that Flame Tongue to just buff up.
Yeah, that's true, depending on what Transit plays. But lojom's gonna think through his options and probably play the Tusker Totemic. Maybe he's gonna take this really slow and start with Hero Power and Tunnel Trug.
You think so?
I really want to see the Tusker Totemic
I
come
do
down.
too. That
The
seems
fact
to
that
be.
Transit Hero Power at turn 2 kind of implies that this is a more of a passive.
Oh, that. All right. Thank you, Orange Jesus.
They're both getting some sick
I
RNG
know.
here.
Wow. So how does Transit answer to this here on his turn 3?
See, this is why I thought it may be a good idea for Transit to play the Doomsayer last turn, because then it'd have completely stopped whatever lojom was going to do at turn 3. I guess your only option is to play Elder Peacekeeper. The Doomsayer is so weak against this board.
I'm going to go with the Peacekeeper as well.
Yeah.
I think that was a stronger option, but no.
Wow, he's going to be
Wow.
super hopeful here.
It seemed kind of risky.
Yeah, the reason why he went for this play is because even after he uses Elder Peacekeeper to the Totem Golem, it still trays to the Tusker Totemic, so he didn't want to get that 1-for-1. It's not even 1-for-1, it's like 1 for 0.5 because the Tusker Totemic has already made another minion.
At this point for lojom, I mean, playing another Tusker right now, I think might be an okay move.
But you cannot guarantee that you can kill the Doomsayer here, so you have to use a Flame Totem here. I think he's only thinking about maybe hero powering over playing the Tunnel Trog, because Transit is at 4 mana, so Pyromancer Equality is a card, and that combo is going to clear everything that he has on the board.
All right, Tunnel Trog it is, and like you said, Flame Tongue, and he's going to try to get rid of that Doomsayer.
Yeah, this is really scary for Transit. Man. He's definitely going to equip the True Silver, but which minion do you kill here?
Well, it looks like he's going to go for...
Oh, did you just see that? Did you just see how Transit was pretending to make an attack on the 1/3 Tunnel Truck? So he's bluffing that he has Consecration by doing so. Yeah, some players love doing this, and they're just preventing the opponent from making a play that they want to do in the following turn. I really like that bluff from Transit, but he doesn't have anything at this point.
I mean, I think True Silver is the only way to go. And you could tell Transit's really considering his options here.
I think his only option is True Silver Champion, but he's just bluffing the opponent at this point.
Well, he can't bluff any longer. The rope is on the board. And yep, there we go, the True Silver. He's just gonna get rid of that
again,
flame.
bluffing the consecration.
Oh, he got me. Playing the mind games in the Hearthstone.
Yeah, but lojom does have that feral spirit, so he's probably gonna go for that instead of the Tusker Totemic, because Transit has been bluffing so much.
Right, at this point, it's probably safer. Get it out there and...
Yeah. And one thing that I want to mention is I really don't like the Doomsayer play at turn 3 from Transit, because he didn't have any answer to clear the board afterwards if the Doomsayer didn't work out. He didn't have Pyromancer, he didn't have Equality, he did not have Consecration, he had nothing. And decided to just be super brave and be extremely hopeful and drop the Doomsayer. I think playing the Elder Peacekeeper might have been a much better option there for him at turn 3. Now Transit really needs to top the consecration.
Yeah, he does. He's been pretending to have it.
Wow.
Oh.
lojom doesn't even. Yeah, he can play this. Thing for below.
Yeah,
Yes,
he can
let's
go
do
ahead and play
this.
that. That brings him to a... Oh.
Wow. So Transit knew. He just knew. He's a god of Hearthstone.
That can't be. How? How did he? Oh my gosh.
And one thing that you have to keep in mind is that these are professional players. So
Yes.
lojom already saw that Transit has used the top deck Consecration, so he probably thinks that Transit has another copy of Consecration at the left side of his hand.
Oh
so
my
that's one thing
goodness.
that he has to keep in mind, that we have to keep in mind.
Right. lojom probably just thinks that there is another consecration ready to go. And how does he play with that? There goes the Tusker now.
And this is a board right after Consecration was played.
And like you said, I mean, lojom might, again, in his mind, he might be thinking there's another consecration card.
Yeah,
no?
exactly. One thing that I noticed is that if Transit uses Stampede and Kodo here and kills one of the 2/3 spirit, then he's gonna get a sick value from his Baron Geddon next turn. If he stays alive.
If he stays alive, that is, yeah, you're right.
I think he's gonna stay alive, but having that Baron Geddon on the board is always a lot of responsibility, because it's gonna deal constant 2 damage. You could also go for another option, like double Peacekeeper. I guess he does go for that.
Seems like he's going to try to do that.
Yeah, this is a much safer approach, is taking down 4 damage total instead of just getting rid of a random minion that has 2 attack or less.
Just living to see another round, another day.
So is it time to smork down?
Let's see here. He's at 18.
He has 13 damage at hand right now, and he has another lightning bolt in hand. So that's an extra 7 damage next turn. That's guaranteed. So yeah, I really like this play from lojom. Transit needs answer right now. And that is not the answer.
That's not the answer. I mean, can Baron Geddon even save him at this point?
If he uses Baron Geddon, then he's just dead on the Doomhammer immediately.
Transit, I think, has figured out that this is not going to work out for him.
Yeah, I don't see any way that he can stay alive for next turn. That's GG.
That is definitely GG. lojom looking, oh, I think that's a hint of a smile. That's a little more than we've seen all day so far from him. But he has definitely won his first game now, and its score is 1-2, 2 in the favor of Transit. But again, this is a best of 5, so we will see how this next one is going to play out.
Yeah, it's going to be a match point for Transit, but you never know. Both of these players are very well experienced, so I don't think they're going to be nervous that they're like 1-2. Like 1-2 is nothing. Come on.
Right. I mean, there's definitely been come from behind wins where you're down 2 games and everything. So this is really close right now. Like you said, they're both very experienced players. What kind of mind games right now are they playing with each other?
Well, the good thing that Lojom has is that he knows exactly what kind of paladin this is. He knows that this is a Hillidan, so he just needs to place a deck that's aggressive enough, that's fast enough, and just pray that that Transit is not going to have any way to clear his board, like Pyromancer Equality or Consecration.
Early on, yeah. All right, so I think they are going to get ready, and we're going to go straight into the fourth game here. Yep, we're going to get ahead into the fourth game. Here we go. There's the graphic for you. So yeah, set number 4. This is the winner's bracket, guys. Whoever wins this, it's a direct line straight to the semifinals.
So Dirkshire Councilman has 5 HP, so it's a very sticky minion for the paladin to deal with because it does not die to just True Silver Champion. I think Transit is definitely looking for that Doomsayer or even Mad Bomber
From the beginning.
Yeah, have the early control of the board and just make sure that he stays alive until it's more of the later stage of the game. And Lojom just needs to take the most aggressive starting cards and pressure Transit as much as possible.
Knife Juggler and Abusive Sergeant, definitely.
Even taking the Councilman.
You think so?
Yeah. How is the Paladin gonna deal with a 3 mana 1/5?
Oh, he's getting rid of the Abusive Sergeant. All right. Only keeps the Juggler.
Light Lord again.
Both of them, they're mulligans. Oh, man.
At least Transit has Consecration now, so that's pretty hopeful.
He doesn't have to bluff it anymore.
He doesn't have to bluff it. But a lot of the Warlock minions are very strong against Consecration, actually. Cards like Imp Gang Boss or even Dirkshire Councilman, they don't die to just Consecration. And Imp Gang Boss, it gets even stronger with Consecration if you think about it.
Wow.
So again, Lojom is in a kind of a confusing situation. He could coin out the Juggler, but he doesn't have any play to follow that up at turn 2. And if Transit plays something like Doomsayer, then he's just gonna be doing nothing. So Lojom does decide to pass his turn. I agree with this.
Yeah, Transit, I mean, the only thing right now he could do is just use his hero power. No?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
I was like, that looks like the only thing to me. Unless I'm looking at the wrong screen, but...
Oh, Transit.
But I do like to, I do like how he's just sitting there, making it seem
hey,
like
I have a Doomsayer at hand. Don't you put down whatever minion you have at hand. Yeah, Lojom's definitely tilted. You can just tell.
Yep. And then after, a couple minutes of contemplation, Transit's like, I'll go ahead and hero power. You don't know what I've got.
Flame it 1 turn too late. So there are a few options here. He could play
the Knife Juggler and then coin into the Flame Imp.
That's option number 1. The second option would be coining out either of the 3 drops.
The Councilman or the
Gang Boss.
Yeah, the gang.
Yeah. There's no right or wrong play. I think I like putting 2 minions on the board instead of just 1. Yeah.
Yep. So
and
he's
if
gonna
this Juggler
coin.
hits.
Okay, so he went with the option that I had said, and I think that's good just because it allows the Knife Juggler to make that 1 extra damage.
Double Consecration, but no Doomsayer, no Mad Bomber.
Again, I think Transit's just going to have to sit here and pretend like he's got something.
I mean, he does have something. He actually has double Consecration. Oh, another time to bluff? So I guess he's trying to bluff that he has Mad Bomber. Because he has shown that card in the previous match.
But again, I mean, he has double Consecration, but on turn 3, there's not really...
I have Mad Bomber,
right.
You might as well play around that a little bit.
Okay. Lojom really trying to figure out here what Transit actually has in his hand.
Usually, I like to play my imp game boss before the Dirksher Councilman, but because this is against Paladin, I think it actually might be better to play the Dirksher Councilman and pressure the opponent as much as possible.
Yeah, Darkshire Councilman. I mean, we saw earlier how scary it is if you just leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get one more minion after Consecration if you play the imp game boss, but I just like having that tension, that pressure.
All right, so which one will it be?
Like, how is a paladin gonna deal with it if you kill both of the 1/1s after playing the Councilman? Like, Doomsayer by itself doesn't do anything. You might as well just go for it.
Yeah, it's a Councilman. Yep, like, you're right. We're going to go with the Councilman here.
You have to kill both of the minions because you need to play around True Silver Champion. So I like an attack on the Councilman here. I mean, it's very telling that, hey, I have Consecration at hand, but how is lojom going to play around that? All the minions will be at 1 HP, so even Defensive Argus is going to be very weak against Consecration.
All right, Transit definitely wants to get rid of that Councilman as soon as possible that he can. And lojom, all right, what are your choices? Turn 4. We can go with the Imp Gang boss, right? And then
Possessed Villager to have that one extra minion on board after the Consecration.
Knife Juggler doing its job. That's the Councilman buff up a bit.
Yeah, Transit is taking a lot of damage by doing this, but at least he has almost full clear of the board. And if he gets his key cards, such as Forbidden Healing, he's going to go back up to 25 plus HP very quickly.
There's the Consecration. He knew that he had to use it. Clear out this board.
Almost clear out the board.
Almost clear out the board. Oh, Mr. Villager, why did you have to be possessed?
That's a very good top deck. The Defensive Argus.
All right, well, 6 mana. I mean,
so Consecration Doomsayer is one option. Senjin Doomsayer is another option.
Consecration, Senjin Doomsayer.
But with the PO and Doomsayer, let's think about this.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here if he did Senjin. Okay, there's a Senjin plus the Doomsayer.
Yeah, with a Doomguard, lojom can actually kill this Doomsayer and have a full HP Doomguard if he decides to. He could even make the trade on the Senjin with the Doomguard. It really depends on which route he wants to go. And he can also choose which card he wants to discard.
Oh, okay. So, power overwhelming.
So he does decide to damage the Doomguard a little bit, but that's fine.
Wow, that's fine. Brings Transit down to 10 health and full control of the board. But right now, lojom has no cards in his hand, so we're just going to have to really hope that he top decks something
He's going to get 2 cards because of the life tap. The situation is very annoying for Transit. He's only at 7 mana, so he can't play some of his best cards, like Tear of Board Ring or the Light Lord. I guess this is his best course of action, and use a Doomsayer as a 7 HP taunt. So lojom just needs 3 damage.
Oh, that was so lucky. Amazing. Again,
This
like
is
I
what
said,
Zoo can do.
I mean, that's what I said. He just has to hope that he just top decks something absolutely amazing, and that's probably as amazing as he was going to get right there.
Yeah, I don't think Transit made any misplay in this game. It was very different from the previous game.
Yeah, I'm kind of playing it out in my head. Yeah, there wasn't really much.
Yeah, I mean, he played the best way he could, but basically the Zulog had a lot of the early game control with a lot of the very aggressive minions like the Knife Juggler and Flame Imp, and obviously the Councilman, because Paladin doesn't have a clear answer to that.
Well, also, you just got to see Transit's initial hands, and they were all cards with very high mana. Like, he was just kind of stuck until the 4th round, and
Exactly. The Consecration is a very good card, but it's not as good as having an early Doomsayer or even Mad Bomber.
yeah, I was gonna say I was looking for that Mad Bomber. That might have been able to help him out early on, but he mulliganed for it, didn't get it, and again, it was just kind of I want to say, yeah, it was just very. That was unlucky that he just started off his starting hand being very high mana cards. But yeah, I think the score is now 2-2.
So this is a match point
This
for
is
either
match
of the
point.
players.
I know. Both of them have definitely played each other before. It just comes down to the wire here. And Transit, you can see clearly, really just stressed out, I guess. And he really knows that he needs to win this. All right, let's take a look here. What are the cards?
And I don't think Transit has seen the Studio deck from Lojom today just yet. Is that correct?
Yes. Did he play
I'm pretty
Druid
sure.
this morning?
I think it was Transit who played Druid instead
Yes,
of
it was.
Lojom.
It was Transit
Yes.
who plays Druid. So, Lojom's Druid deck. And here we go, Transit. I mean, he's just sitting there like, gonna get rid of that.
And I agree with the mulligan that Transit just made. I think it's more important to get cards like Doomsayer over Humility.
겸손, humility. Oh,
Yes.
These direct translations into Korean, this is very new to me. I really like it.
But again, Transit gets another 8-drop in his starting hand.
That's really unfortunate. An 8 mana card, a 5 mana card. What can he do? All right, well, let's take a look at Lojom here.
I just like doing the Living Roots.
Living Roots to
Making the
start.
two saplings.
Just get little guys on your board.
Yeah, and because Paladin is a class that cannot directly deal with the board with a hero power, there are some good chance that these saplings are going to last for a very long time. I mean, Lojom could even go for the more aggressive route by playing either Mire Keeper or Violet Teacher.
Already? No, yeah, I think he's just sitting there playing mind games with Transit right now, and then eventually we're going to go see him play that Living Roots.
Well, I don't know, actually.
No?
He could play the Mire Keeper too and get the Wild Growth effect, but decides to go for the Living Roots.
Another unlucky draw there, Transit.
I think basically what Lojom is so afraid of is a Doomsayer. He's just constantly asking himself, what if that Doomsayer comes down? Like, what am I going to do?
But here we go, turn 2, and Transit, yeah, again, Hero Power is the only option that really has.
I mean, Hero Power is not that bad,
No,
really.
it's not, but
It's not Doomsayer.
it's not Doomsayer for sure. It just seems to be that he's in that same position again that he was in last game, and we both know how that kind of panned out for him. So
Where is that Mad Bomber when he's desperately
I don't
needed?
know. You know, he was nice enough to put the Mad Bomber in the deck, and that doesn't even show up to the party.
Double Violet Teacher. So if Lojom goes for Mire Keeper here and gets the Wild Growth, then he can play Violet Teacher next turn without using his coin. Yeah, I don't really think there's a huge benefit in innovating out the Violet Teacher here because you don't really have a good spell to play with that's guaranteed. So you
Right.
might as well just go with the Mire Keeper. Again, the fact that Transit hovered over his card for so long before using the hero power, I think Lojom is so afraid of Doomsayer here.
Lojom is really contemplating this. I think you're right. Now that I'm looking at his cards, Innervate.
But yeah, I think Mire Keeper is definitely the play to do. Because even if Doomsayer comes down, then you can coin out and get 3 draws from the Nourish, so it doesn't really matter. I don't see a point in trading here. Oh man, I don't like it when players just make trade for no reason. It's not. It's only at turn 3. It's not even gonna consecrate.
That breaks my heart. Transit just cannot get a break. Look at these cards that he keeps drawing, and this is now turn 4, turn 3 for him, rather.
Yep. And again, Violent Teacher is another minion that has 5 HP that Paladin has always had trouble dealing with at turn 4. Because a true silver champion is only a 4 attack weapon.
Yeah, I mean, okay, right here, I think Violet Teacher is probably the option that Lojom would be going for.
Lojom could go for something really scary, like Violet Teacher coining out Power of the Wild next turn, but that is so weak against the full board clear potential that the Paladin has.
Lojom's still being a little bit careful here, right?
Yeah.
He definitely wants to make sure that everything is, that he's not overextending himself too much. And finally, Transit has some cards that he can use.
Yeah, it's very relieving that Transit finally drew his Pyromancer, because if he gets equality, then it's going to be a full board clear.
Pyromancer and the Acidic Swamp Ooze.
We're probably going to see just Acidic Swamp Ooze and Hero Power.
이건 어떨까?
So far, all of his decks have been incredibly powerful, you know, and he just had full control over it. But these last 2 rounds, these last 2 games that he's played, just not getting very lucky with his draws.
That's just what happens with these Paladin. They always lag in their card draws because their only card draw sources are something like Lay on Hands, which is an 8-mana card, something like Acolyte Pain, which is so weak. We just saw the Mire Keeper taking down the Acolyte Pain immediately.
Yeah.
So this happens a lot with Paladin in general.
All right, turn 5.
이러면 어떨까?
I mean, at this point, do you...
If you play really safely, then you play Nourish. But if I were Lojom, I'd probably go for the super play and do the Violet Teacher.
I was going to say, I would do the
Wild.
Violet Teacher just because just having another minion out on that board.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's at turn 5 for Transit, so if he does something like Pyromancer Equality, then there's no way to play around that, but if Transit has Equality and Consecration, then Lojom has an extra turn to play around that.
Oh boy. All right. Well, Power of the Wild has been played, and
So Lojom is 50% committed to his board.
I think so. It's almost like he kind of was fearing that Consecrate. Just buffed up his cards, make sure Transit can't get rid of the board.
I think he's more
here.
afraid of something like Pyromancer Equality and full board clear rather than just Consecration, because it's not that effective. Yeah, and you might as well just make the favor trade when you can, so that the Violet Teacher does not die to something like True Silver Champion.
Alright, Stampeding Kodo.
Transit has been doing very well in defending himself, but he really needs his equality in the next couple draws.
He needs to start attacking himself, or yeah, like you said, he's being very defensive. He's holding it off, but how much longer is he going to be able to do this? Oh dear.
Wow, I guess your only play is Sylvanas or Forbidden Healing, but I don't know if Forbidden Healing does anything, because you're gonna have the same board. It's not like you have equality just yet, so you might as well just go for the winning play and drop your Sylvanas. It's so scary. It's so scary if he does that, because Lojom is only 2 damage off from killing Transit that way, but it's not like you're gonna be able to play the Light Lord or Tyrion at turn 7, so you might as well just go for Sylvanas here.
생각 좀 해야겠어.
Alright, decides to clear the board almost.
Is this the best?
This is a safer approach.
Okay.
Definitely. But now, even if Transit draws his equality, he's not going to have a clean way to deal with Druid's board anymore. So I don't know if this was a winning play.
Right.
Yeah, Lojom can just hero power down this Pyromancer and keep his ET alive to discount all the cards that he has from the Nourish.
All right. They're letting us see these Nourish cards.
Yeah, this
Quite
is what
long time.
happens with Malfurion all the time.
Sorry, he's just bragging, but rightfully so. That's fine. All right. So Lojom right now.
Yeah, we're probably just see a hero power and protect that ET over anything else.
All right. Well, this is definitely a sticky situation for Transit.
I guess the humility is a good top deck because it's gonna make sure that you stay. Do you stay alive even if you do the equality in Forbidden Healing? With Forbidden Healing, it's going to be he's gonna be at 19 HP. 1+. Yeah, he's gonna stay alive if he uses Humility and Forbidden Healing. But you are gonna keep this Emperor Tharson alive for an extra turn.
Right. There's really nothing that he can do. Again, it's a defensive play. There's really not much here that he can do to try to cut down his opponent.
All right, we are about to see an 8-mana Yaxaron and 4-mana. What is that? The Ancient War. 4-mana 5/10 taunt. Not bad, huh?
Gotta say. All right, like you said, here we go. He's gonna use the Humility.
Oh wow! He's gonna go for the Sylvanas now. He's gonna go for the winning play now. Why didn't he just do this last turn? I mean, it was gonna die anyways, but it was worth trying.
It was worth a try, and Lojom knows that he's got it. Headset has come off, and wow,
Lojom
we
is
went.
the first person to make it to the top 4.
Oh gosh. I mean, you can see here on Transit's face, he's just very disappointed in how his cards just drew out. You know, like I think he felt like he could have won it if he had, like you said, the Mad Bomber, for example,
Or the Doomsayer.
or the Doomsayer, as we've been saying. If he had that in the beginning, I think that would have been a little bit better, a little bit a closer match. Transit did do a great job in defending, but that was.
Yeah, I think it was just a pure mistake that he brought a Nizath Paladin to this competition. Lojom is known for his aggro plays, and I don't know if he was able to get any win with a Nizath Paladin. But Transit does have another chance, and he's probably going to change his deck list, and we're probably not going to see another Nizath Paladin in the future tournament.
All right. Well, congratulations to Lojom. He was able to beat Transit once again. Possible rivalry brewing here between the two players, but we're going to have to see. Congratulations to him to make it to the semifinals.
Yeah,
and
he's the first person to secure his spot there.
Absolutely. And next week, we're going to go through Group B and stuff like that, and then we'll usually be able to see who else makes it to the finals. But guys, I think it looks like we're going to have an interview with Lojom in just a second. Got to see what he's got to say about this. I am really curious what's going through his mind with all the mind games that Transit has been playing.
Yeah, and he was the one who was going behind in the first stage of the tournament. So that's very impressive.
All right. Yep, so I'm getting told that the interview is now ready. And luckily for you guys, Harso speaks really good Korean, and so she'll be able to translate.
Oh, am I translating?
We could both do it,
Okay.
I guess. All right, here we go. Let's talk to Lojom.
Lojom, congratulations on your win.
안녕하세요.
Please say
선비팀
hi to
소속
the
로조
fans.
이범용입니다.
Hello, this is Lojom from Team Sunbi. You're the first person to secure your spot at the top 4. How do you feel about that?
아 이게 좀 상대 두루 선봉을 예상을 했는데 그 야수 두루를 좀 예상
I kind of
못해서
expected the Druid to
2패했던 게 좀
start with the
힘들어가지고
first match,
불안했는데
and I was a bit
기분
nervous
좋아요.
about I was a bit nervous about the opponent's Beast Druid, but I just got lucky overall.
I mean, at what point did you think, I'm
계속
definitely going to
살았을
make
때
it?
그때 이겼다고 생각한 것 같아요.
In the last match, when my Emperor Tharso lived for a couple of turns, that's when I was sure of my win.
in that
What
third
did you
set.
think when you saw the Mad
비트기사인가
Bomber?
했는데
When I first saw the
뭐-
Mad Bomber,
그렇게 뭐 크게 상관 안 했어요. 그
Actually, he
비트기
didn't really
상관
care too much
아니면
about
괜찮아가지고.
the Mad Bomber.
during the tournament, were you ever nervous about how the
전혀
opponent was
모르.
playing? No, not at all.
저 아까 신성화 있는 척 했었을 때 혹시 연기구나.
What did you think about the bluffings that Transit
아,
was constantly
근데
doing, especially with
그게
consecration?
그 오른쪽에서 나온 건 봤는데
I saw the
맞아도
consecration
상관없다고
being
생각하고
top
있었어요.
deck, but I didn't mind it that much because I had another way to refill the board immediately after the consecration.
혹시 11짜리로 13짜리 이렇게 서산표 왔다 갔다 거리는 거
What did you think about the 1-1 hero part from the Paladin hovering over making attack against your Aggro Shaman? I actually didn't see that hovering over, so I didn't see the bluff from
그게 잘-
Transit.
네, 제가 신성화 맞아도 이긴다고
Yeah, I
생각해요.
just thought I was very confident that even after the consecration, I was gonna be able to grab that win, so I wasn't concerned at all. You are the first person to make it to the top four. Who do you want to see as your opponent in the future stage?
뭐 내전하고 싶죠. 다 올라왔으면 좋겠어요. 그러니까 뭐 선비팀 중에 아무나 상관없는
I
거.
just want anyone from Team Zombie to be there and compete against me in the future rounds.
네.
As long as it's a Team Zombie member, I don't mind who gets there. Thank you for the interview,
좀
Lojom.
제가 좀
Any last
그
words?
요구드루가 좀 자신 없었는데
I wasn't very confident
오늘
about my
탱이
Yog
형이랑
Druid.
투쿤했거든요 어제.
And I had
그래서
some special
뭐 탱이 형한테
games
감사드리고
and practices
꼭
with Tangy.
다음에 다시 뭐 결승에서 만났으면 좋겠어요.
Hopefully, I get to see him
올라와서.
again at the final match, and wish him the best of luck. Thank you for the interview.
All right, that was a great interview. He seems super confident as well. I wish him the best of luck. Here are the results for today, guys. Lojom versus Transit. Transit did win the first two. Come from behind win. Lojom takes the next three. That Paladin deck really not doing Transit any favors.
Yikes. And the way that Transit mulligan was fine too. He was mulliganing away the Acidic Swamp Ooze because he desperately wanted the Doomseer
Yeah.
and the Mad Bomber, but he just never got them except for the first round.
I know. It like I said, the last two games, it was just so unfortunate for him. And again, I guess Transit's learned something today, not to use his Hilliton tech possibly
Yeah.
towards a competition like this. But I think we're going to go ahead and take a short break. So when we get back, we're going to go ahead into the losers bracket where we have Tangy and Kyron ready. And we will see you guys in just a few minutes.